us to them, a lead that would result in 10,000 or greater, you're qualified for a bonus. And if it's with an existing client and you get us some new business, it's $1,000. But if it's a brand new client, then it's $2,000. And the bonus will be paid 30 days once we bill the client for an invoice that is more than $10,000. And we know how quickly that can add up. So always have your ears and eyes open when you're at the client or when you're dealing with the client, because you can earn a nice little bonus. The second one is the candidate referral. So if you have a candidate, you have a friend or an acquaintance or whatever, and they're looking for consulting work and you refer them, uh, the bonus would be paid after they've worked 450 hours. And again, we know how fast that can add up. Um, and it's applicable to project managers and analysts. It's not applicable for trainers or go live chart abstraction or call center and consultants. So please, if you have anybody that you want to refer, let your RM know and we'll get the paperwork in. And then as soon as it hits those milestones, then the bonus will be paid out to you.
Awesome. So be thinking about that as Tasha goes through her presentation. Just a couple other things to note. We are recording the call, so we will send the recording out after we are finished, probably tomorrow. And then also, if you do have any questions, if you wouldn't mind typing them into the chat during the call, and then we can answer them. If it's something we need to get back to you on, we will get back to you. I will turn it over to Tasha.
Okay. And can you guys see?
Yes, and we can hear you.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. So, hi, everybody. I want to fill you in on a new service that we're offering, and it's a managed service, and we are trying to help out our clients with the current crisis in healthcare, and that is, really just the burnout that's happening and the lack of staffing that a lot of our clients in healthcare have. So we are calling it the Virtual Nurse Concierge Care Service, and that's just a big umbrella for a lot of services that we will be able to provide for our clients. So we all know that there's a current crisis in healthcare. So we're all involved in healthcare, so we see it every day. There's a lot of challenges out there, and a lot of the healthcare workers are suffering from burnout. So the U.S. Surgeon General is calling it a crisis. And the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that there's a lot of reasons for that burnout. There's societal, there's cultural, structural, and organizational factors. And this was going on even before COVID-19. So 54% of doctors and nurses were already experiencing burnout. But during the pandemic, we were around and we saw just the impact of the pandemic, and now it's even worse. So if you're out there and you're working alongside the healthcare workers on a daily basis, or you're even using the healthcare system, you know that there's probably a lot less healthcare workers there than there were 10 years ago. And did you know that about 66% of nurses have considered resigning from their jobs? So that's a pretty significant statistic. So we are experiencing a critical impact where we we're going to be without the number of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers that we need, and that's going to put our entire healthcare system at risk. So a few more statistics. So by 2033, which really isn't that far away, it's estimated that there's going to be about 54 to 139,000 less physicians than we need. Demand is really growing faster than supply, and we're going to see this shortage more in rural communities and primary care organizations. So we're really going to feel that impact. And burnout just isn't for healthcare workers, but it's extending to the fabric of our communities and societies. So it is a problem that requires collective action and immediate solutions. So as patients, we're feeling the impact of burnout because we're spending less time with that clinical staff. And if you've been to a physician's office or to an emergency department, you've experienced long delays in your care or in a diagnosis, and you or maybe somebody in your family or in your life may have had an unfavorable outcome, and this could be, as significant as death. So quality of care has been decreasing. There's a high risk of errors. And we've seen, medical systems and practitioners are becoming more and more involved in lawsuits for malpractice. So, we have patient satisfaction is decreasing. The system is more litigious, there's a lot more legal action happening, and we have more shortages and retention obstacles. So it's just an endless cycle that we just really don't see, a way out of that cycle in the near future. So a lot of organizations that we've spoken to when we started talking about this concept, they say their workers are burned out due to staffing shortages because of the reasons that we've discussed. And, there's more and more work being placed on their physicians and their clinicians because there's less and less of those folks around. So, the more rural and provider organizations they're requiring their physicians and nursing or nurse practitioners and physician assistants to take call after hours because they don't have the staff to do that. So not only are they working harder during the day, then they have to work at night. So they're triaging patient inquiries, which is just making it worse. So maybe your larger urban healthcare systems have, something in place to do this, or they're working with some company to do it. But your smaller, more suburban and rural communities don't have this managed service to help them. So to help combat this worker shortage, as well as to ease the bottleneck and the problem of people using the emergency room for non-critical needs, because we need to remember that's another big problem that all organizations have, is the emergency room has become the the primary care source for a lot of those people, because they can't get into their primary care because there's not enough primary care providers, or they can't get in because the appointments are months out. We decided to launch this virtual nurse concierge care managed service. So we're integrating nurses, providers, patients, technology, and evidence-based protocols. So our goal is to make sure that we have reliable, safe clinical guidance for patients who are calling in. And then we want to help that organization reduce any unneeded emergency department visits. So we also want to make sure that the patient has a good experience and they have positive outcomes. So we're on the other hand, we want to make sure that their nursing shortages are being addressed, and we're helping to combat the burnout among their staff. So the provider productivity in the organization's ambulatory space should also be enhanced because they are they're able to see patients. They're going to have support staff to see patients during the day because they aren't fielding calls. This service can be done after hours. It also can be done during the day. So it's a win-win for everybody, depending on what that organization needs and how much support that they need. So our managed service utilizes licensed registered nursing, and then we are using the Schmidt-Thompson triage protocols, and they have protocols for both adult and pediatric population. So the patients are dispositioned to an appropriate level of care based on their symptoms. So the registered nurses get trained on the protocols, and they'll have either a compact nursing license or a license in the state of the organization that they'll be working with. So in a nutshell, the caller calls in, they provide a brief history of any significant medical history, including their medications, and then a summary of their symptoms. Then the nurse follows that Schmidt-Thompson protocol, and that protocol follows them through evidence-based questions, and they arrive at a disposition for the patient. So the disposition could be, you need to go immediately to the emergency department, you need to go to urgent care, you need to call your primary care physician for an appointment, or we can treat this at home. So the encounter is documented in the patient's chart, and then care instructions can be sent to the patient. So it can be either faxed to them, it could be emailed to them, or it can be sent to the patient through their electronic health record portal. So it's a very comprehensive, comprehensive protocol. They have tons and tons of symptom-based protocols, and you're hard-pressed not to find one when the patient calls in, that wouldn't meet their symptoms. The nurse does not do any diagnosis. It's all disposition-based. So it is very, tried and true, and has been used for several years. It started out in binders, and now it can be fully integrated through, electronic solution. So additional virtual clinical care that we can do. So bits and pieces, if the organization doesn't need a full nurse triage solution right off the bat. If the emergency physician wants follow-up calls for ER visits, we can do that. So if they have, a concern that maybe a patient isn't going to, follow their plan, or they just want to call and check up on that patient, we can have staff who can place follow-up visits the next day. If the organization wants day after surgical procedure calls to be made, we can do that. If physicians in offices are prescribing new medications, or they have specific patient populations such as a pediatric practice or psychiatric practice, we can schedule follow-up calls for those to check on patients. As I said, we do have a patient service center managed service right now. That's going to be a year old in July. And we can provide operational support for healthcare facilities. We can do registration and scheduling. If organizations want to schedule patients for pre-diagnostic testing prior to arriving for appointments, that's something we can do. Or At the healthcare level, agents can pre-register patients for diagnostic testing and procedures if, they have a need for that as well. So any part of this can be done if an organization wants to, do a beta for a nurse triage with just one of their physician offices, we can do that. Or if they want to just roll it out and go for it, we can do that as well. So we can customize this for the organization to meet their needs. So a few more statistics. So, and these are pretty interesting. If they found that 30 to 50% of patients who present to the emergency department could have been directed to a non-emergent disposition, so that, treated home or call your primary care physician, or even just go to urgent care if they utilized a nurse triage service with those standardized protocols before coming into the emergency department. So, that saves the organization money. It saves that bottleneck so that patients who really are emergent can be treated. And it also saves, with patient satisfaction. Nothing is worse than a patient who sits in the emergency department for 5 hours when they could have gone to their primary care office the next day. A study demonstrated that emergency department visits made by nurse triage referral were 33% more appropriate than patients making self decisions to go to the emergency department. Data from the Society of Actuaries indicate that return on investment evaluations for nurse triage demonstrate ratios from 2.5 to 3.5. So that's something that the chief financial officer would find very interesting for return on investment for the nurse triage service. And then patients often report high satisfaction with nurse triage services, which can lead to increased adherence and to recommendations and reduced ED visits. So again, getting back that patient satisfaction with services within the organization. So why are we telling you about this? Not only is it, a new service and we want you guys to know what we're doing out there, but you guys, although, you may be sitting at home, you are still on the front line. This is an entirely different service for us, and it's a different target stakeholder as well. We, typically our sales folks are out there in information technology, and they're meeting with, the chief informatics officers and and then everyone else in information technology. But this is more of a clinical managed service, and we're targeting clinical leadership. So our folks need to get in front of different folks than they're usually out there targeting. So if you are working on projects or you have access to these people, then you can be telling them about our service. So, our definite target leadership is that C-suite of the chief nursing officer, medical director, chief nursing informatics, and chief medical informatics officers. Ambulatory managers, nurse leaders, and physician leaders. So, we know that we are in meetings with some of these people because they are involved in our projects as well. But from the information technology realm, project managers. So if we're involved in ambulatory projects, you are involved with those people that are feeling the pressure of the staffing issues and the bottlenecks. We have CIO here with a provider credential. Not that the chief informatics officer isn't feeling the pressure, but if they have a provider credential, they're definitely rubbing elbows with their counterparts, and they're hearing, the stories and the struggles. And then the service desk manager. So if your organization has a service desk and patients are calling in and they're helping them, but they aren't helping them with clinical issues. Generally, those folks that have clinical issues are being transferred to um, the offices, the practices. And if there's not somebody in the practice who's answering the phone right away, then they're being sent to an answering machine. And then, it becomes a vicious cycle. So if the practice isn't picking up those calls in a timely manner, then those patients are calling that service desk back again. And they're becoming angrier and angrier because no one's picking up their call and addressing their issue. So, that service desk, those folks working in that service desk are getting those angry phone calls, and the service desk manager is hearing from his folks as well, and so he is feeling the pain as well. So a lot of stakeholders, but to get things moving, we need that nursing realm to come down into information technology and say, hey, we really need a solution for this, and we need for you to help us. As an aside, we do have a couple of different ways that we can manage this. If an organization already has the technology in place, we can work with their technology and just, bring them the people, bring them the nurses, and the protocols to get started. If they don't have the technology in place, we have the service desk technology that we can bring as a package with the nurse concierge service, and sell that as well as, the whole full Monty with our service desk technology. Okay, I'm not sure that we have, I don't want to derail your meeting with questions. So if you do have questions, please reach out to me. If you want, to get me on the phone, we can get on the phone and discuss it, the solution, and I will be glad to answer any questions you have. Or if you have anybody that right offhand, you can reach out to me. I think that Stephanie's going to share this deck with you, so we can get together. If you are in an organization and or you think that you have somebody that you want your salesperson and me to reach out to, we can definitely do that. Just when you reach out, let me know what organization you're with so that we can find the salesperson that is with your organization, and we can work with you and get in front of whoever you recommend. Okay, so thank you very much for letting me take some time out of your meeting, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Tasha. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Bye, everybody.
All right, I will go ahead and share again. And we are going to move on to our kudos.
That's me. B. I printed mine out so I could read them and didn't have to read from the screen. Good evening, everyone. We've got multiple kudos. Why wouldn't we, right? But let's get right to it. Our first kudos goes out to Lucretia Johnson. She is currently engaged as a project manager at Orlando Health for us. And this message came directly to her from Jesse Moranis, a manager in IT and clinical engineering there at Orlando Health. She says, I wanted to share with you that Bayfront has successfully gone live with this GE Gateway version 2.2 server upgrade. This is a project that had been approved in 2021. I initially investigated it for a status in 2022, which jump-started the efforts to get this complete. Your assistance helped me get the visibility it deserved to launch it into production. I want to thank you for assisting me and the team for getting traction on this and the other GE monitoring projects as these had fallen into a corner. This will allow Orlando Health Bayfront Hospital the opportunity to upgrade the direct patient care equipment and ultimately increase the overall care and a patient receives within our facility. So on behalf of the entire team, a big thank you and congratulations. Superb, Lucretia. That's amazing. Next, we've got Amber Morrow. She's currently engaged at Wellstar. And Evelyn Rosenthal, who is the Executive Director of Learning and Development, says, "Thank you, Amber. I remain deeply grateful of your skill, commitment, and agility." We thank you too, Amber. We've got kudos for Lori Cathy, who is currently engaged in Ohio at Lima Memorial. Eileen Miller, the IT project coordinator, actually wrote to Jenny Sullivan, who is our national sales director for Experis in Ohio. And she says, "I think Lori is awesome. So thankful we could get her. I've been on Josh's case for a month about extending her agreement. She does a phenomenal job. We get lots of positive feedback from directors and staff about her." Way to go, Lori. That's a nice call out. Okay, this next one is multiple call outs for Patricia Thompson. She's engaged currently at Wellstar. And firstly, Kelly Trummer, who is an assistant VP in talent acquisition, says, "Thanks, Patricia. That is super kind of you." Not sure what she's referring to, but way to be kind. "You are such a rock for everything going on. Thank you again." Also for Patricia plus Stephanie DeFeo, the EPMO at Wellstar, "Let them know that her project schedule is one of the best she has seen in the system." And then more kudos for We Die, Christine Sixskiller and Marilyn Chappelle at Bryan Health. Christopher Larson, who is the IT applications manager over revenue cycle, says, "We and Christine are doing amazing work, and we are grateful for their ability to jump in and get things done. As for Marilyn, she's awesome." I think we think so too. All righty, multiples again. Kudos for Cynthia Walker, currently engaged at Novant. This came in an email to Glenn Ferris, who is our Experis National Sales Director for Novant. I think that's in Georgia. "I just spoke with Chris Reyes yesterday, and she called Cindy out specifically and said that she was the best addition to the team and so happy that we pushed her to be on the project. We don't do another project without her, and we won't do another project without her. And she is just the light of the room and really has added so much value that we did not know that we needed. She can do so many things. She is awesome and don't want to ever let her go." Wow. That's awesome. More kudos. Cynthia Walker and Glenn O'Connor at Novant Health. "Hi, Chris and Tammy." Not sure who those people are. "This is tremendous shout out for Cindy Walker on her above and beyond work to meet the needs of the RAD-ONC patient access folks. She offered the training at Brunswick for them. They have a different workflow than the rest of our scheduling teams, and we work diligently with the cadence analysts to customize this training for them. Shout out to Glenn for working to make the patients behave as they should as well." This all came from Scarlett Hollingsworth, who is the Epic training manager for revenue cycle there at Novant. Way to go. Very nicely done. All right, this next one goes out to Lisa Bradley, who is currently engaged at Surgery Partners. The kudos originated from an email that a team member, Kevin Brewster, sent saying, "I just wanted to drop a quick note to give a shout out to Lisa Bradley. I've had the pleasure of working with her on many initiatives since joining as a consultant myself back in November. Lisa is incredibly knowledgeable, gives great input, exercises sound judgment, and above all, is very collegial. We are grateful to have her expertise on technical projects." Within that thread, Michelle Partipillo, who is the director of hospital systems there at Surgery Partners, added, I wanted to share the wonderful comments about Lisa Bradley from Kevin. So grateful to have her on our team for so many years. Yes, Lisa has been there for 12 years, folks. Thank you, Lisa, for your dedication and expertise. You rock. And then Janie Scott, the Vice President of IT Application Portfolio, chimed in on that same thread to say, now this is a way to start a Monday. Thank you, Lisa. We have always known and appreciated your expertise and your leadership. This is a wonderful customer testimonial to all your remarkable attributes and more. We remain grateful and feel privileged to have you continue to lead our interoperability for our hospitals. Thank you for positively impacting patient care through IT. We appreciate you every day. That's what we're doing this for, right? Excellent. Thank you, Lisa, from all of us as well. All right, these kudos go out to John Utz. John is an interface consultant at Goshen Health in Ohio. Jenny Sullivan is the national sales director. Actually, Goshen's in Indiana. And she sent this detail along just this week. And it says, I spoke with Carrie Seghetti, the manager of applications this week, and I wanted to share all the great things she said about you. Carrie let me know that they plan on keeping you indefinitely. She said it is written into the budget for the rest of this year, and she plans on keeping it that way. The extensions will continue to come, covering a quarter at a time. She went on to say that John is a part of our team. He is essential to getting our department's job done. He is fantastic. Really can't say enough about him. He is a great communicator. He jumps in and helps, doesn't need to be prompted. He works very well with the other integration analysts. Thank you, Jenny says, for being an awesome consultant. It definitely makes my job easier. Thank you, John. That's excellent. Okay, now this one comes directly from a client system where they have sort of a shout out, probably on Teams. And this one comes from one of the nurses, Tony Lasuzo, I want to say, for Robert Kahn, our project manager at Willis Knighton over the clinical side on the acute. The ultimate all-star in Expanse. You are truly an amazing nurse and coworker. Not just that, but you are actually really funny and fun to be around. I look forward to working with you on projects because you never let me down. Thanks for being a badass and a key member in making Willis Knighton EMR altogether better. You're a good one. Mom, can we keep him? Ha ha ha. Please do. Please do, Willis Knighton. Keep him forever. Robert's amazing. Okay, next we've got Mitch Wallace. Mitch is also engaged at Surgery Partners. And Michelle Partipillo, again, the director of hospital systems, reached out on a different occasion to say, I just wanted to share that I had a meeting with Manisha Youngblood. She could not say enough great things about Mitch. She is so grateful for all his assistance with case management reports, his expertise, and timeliness. Great job, Mitch. Thank you for always providing your best. Nicely done. Okay, Tammy Taylor, engaged currently at Baylor Scott and White. This kudos comes in from Amanda Mahoney, who is the manager of LIS. We appreciate you. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. You are an asset to our team. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Tammy. Okay, I think this is my last page. Hope that's correctly. These are going out to Belinda Johnson at Athena Health first. BJ, you are a coding guru. Thank you for assisting. I've also passed along this tidbit of information to the MA staff for future reference. Thanks. That's from Tanya Elvania, the Chief Clinical Officer there at Athena Health. Also for Belinda, over the last few weeks, my schedule has been a little hectic with travel. During this time, Belinda has done a tremendous job filling in the gap, meeting with clients and helping our clients move the needle. Two of our clients, Boulder Center and Oconee Valley, achieved exceptional cash collections in May. Belinda, I appreciate you and your willingness to support our clients' success. Your knowledge and expertise is invaluable. That comes in from Rita Douglas, who is the Senior Manager of Advisory Services at Athena Health. Way to go. Those are amazing. Thank you all for all your hard work.
Thank you, V. And just please pass kudos along. If you receive an email from the client directly with any positive comments, please send them to your resource manager or to me, and we'll make sure we include them. Thank you. Passing it on to Libby.
Good evening, everyone. I am lucky to be able to talk about the people who have been here for 5 years or more. So first of all, I would like to give a special shout out to Shane Fallon with our technology practice, who has been here an amazing 13 years. That's amazing, Shane. And also Mary Jane Hammer with the Meditech team, been here 11 amazing years. That is absolutely a great accomplishment to both of you. Thank you for hanging in there with us. And then the rest of the next people on this page have been here for 5 years. Mary Jane Hammer, or I'm sorry, Bruce Eigenberger with the multi-vendor practice. Chuck Gerlach, multi-vendor practice, 5 years. Brandy Gimbel, 5 years with the multi-vendor practice. Paul Keogh, again, 5 years. Teresa Massaro, 5 years. David Welter, amazing 5 years to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging in there. And then we have 5 more years for these 3 people. Jason Gates with the multi-vendor practice, 5 years. Clay Harrell, multi-vendor, 5 years, amazing. And then Don Huff with the Cerner practice, 5 years. So amazing accomplishments to everybody. Thank you so much for staying with us, and we appreciate all your hard work.
And I apologize. I just realized it's actually 6 years for the people that were on that are our extended support, our McKesson extended support team. I apologize. I put 5 years, but it's 6 years. So congratulations. All right, we are moving on to our medals awards. Passing it over to Susan.
All right, this is another fun one. So we have a medals program, which gives clients another opportunity to recognize our consultants. The clients periodically receive an email asking them if they'd like to nominate consultants for medals. Your recruiter, your RM, and BDM will all receive a copy of the medal information if you're nominated, and they will share it with you. We have different categories for medals. I'm not going to read all of the descriptions, but the categories are achiever, communicator, learner, problem solver, producer, and team player. So we do have a few consultants that have been recognized by our clients. First, we have William McKinney, Philip Ng, and Victoria Greer, all at Novant Health, nominated by Tiffany Fouché. And they were nominated for all of the categories. So great job there. The next one, we have Brian McCulley at Driscoll Health. He was nominated as a producer by Donna Maxey. She also added, Brian is an awesome member of the team. I wish I could keep him as a permanent member. We have another Nicholas Giancana. Seattle Children's Hospital is where Nicholas is working, and Nicholas was nominated as a problem solver and learner by Renee Stanley. We have at Compassus, this is a good one, Sergey, and I'm not even going to touch the last name, I'm sorry. Sergey has been a great addition to the team. He's learned a tremendous amount of new information. He's been a great team player, problem solver, and putting things into action by writing the code. Thanks, Sergey, for all that you do. Keep it up. He was nominated as a problem solver, learner, and team player by Chu Lee. And Liz Boone was nominated as an achiever and problem solver. She's at Boone Hospital Center, nominated by Brenda Sexton. And Brenda added some comments that Liz was able to really help diagnose a problem that that was causing their finance department to not have good valuation. Her ability to take the data and churn it so they knew what they needed fixed was incredible. She's also easy to work with and great to the team. So congratulations to all of you. I think that's all.
I think so.
Okay.
So as Susan mentioned, these are emails that get sent out automatically to the contact that's listed in our system for the project. And if you don't get a response, don't feel bad. It doesn't mean you are all amazing, and same on the kudos. But you know, if you do get something, please send them to us. These actually come directly to your resource manager, your salesperson, and your recruiter. It's a newer program, and I'm sure in a lot of cases the emails are getting just lost in the slew of the emails we all get all the time. So if you ever want us to ask a client about filling one out, feel free to reach out to me or your RM, and we can check in or have the salesperson check in with the client. So thank you. All right, passing it on to Donna Lynn for the fun stuff.
Yeah, I hope you guys are ready to have some fun, but I do want to make a comment regarding what Stephanie did say. Earlier today, I got asked by a client if I could provide any positive kudos type emails for somebody that we were recommending for a position, and they wanted those kudos to come from their most recent client that they were with. So we've been having a lot of people ask for that a little more recently. So if you do get those kind of things, please make sure to send them in to your resource manager so we can hang on to those. We love to put those in your little profile and make sure that those are there for when we need them. But yes, big fun. This was, for those of you who were on last time, this same slide was on. So they brought me back for an encore here. It's hardware return, something that we always struggle with. It's getting better, but it's not great. First thing that we need everybody to do is please hang on to your box instead of throwing that box away for when that laptop or whatever it is needs to be returned. And keep any shipping labels that might be in that box as well. We usually give you new labels, but sometimes they're not even needed. Sometimes they come right in the box, and you can just hang on to those, stick them back on, send it in, or even just call UPS or FedEx or whomever and ask them to just come right to your door and pick it up. There's a number of ways to do that. We really need everybody to know what a big problem we have with some individuals not returning their equipment and thinking that it's okay to just hang on to it, like, oh, I'm going to start on another project and I'm going to leave this sit here for 3 or 4 months until I just think about it later and then send it back. We do pay by the month for those laptops. They are rented. So we'd rather spend that money on something else good as far as, things that we could do within this company. So if you could send it back right away, that would be really, really helpful to us. And we do have to make it known if people have not returned that equipment in the past or have waited a long time. We do have to document that and make sure that that information is also in a person's profile. So we don't want to do that. Just hang on to the box, send it back, let us know what we can do to get you that label and get it returned to us, and we'd be very, very thankful.
Thank you, Donna Lynn. I am going to turn it over to V. V's going to highlight one of our consultants and some happenings in his family. And V brought up a good point today. This is something that we could start including in our quarterly calls. So if any of you have any exciting news in your family or personal life or even work-wise, anything that you want to share, please, again, share them with your resource manager and we'll make sure we get them added to the call.
Thanks, Stephanie. I am super excited to tell you all about Gavin Keogh. Paul Keogh is the manager of our McKesson Extended Support Team here at Experis. This is the team that's been a part of our company for 5 years now. You saw several of the people on that team being celebrated in the anniversaries. They are supporting legacy McKesson applications, those within McKesson that are no longer so Altera, that are no longer being supported. Our people are doing so and doing a fabulous job. So recognizing Paul's 16-year-old son, Gavin will be competing or is competing right now in the USA Olympic trials here in Indianapolis. He started competing today in the 100-meter backstroke event. And I still don't have the results of that. Someone texted me and it was elongated and had a lot of stats, but you can go find that. Or you might be able to watch it streamed live on NBC.com and Peacock for his 200-meter backstroke on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. He is competing here. His favorite event is the 200-meter, but he did qualify to compete in both the 100-meter and the 2. Gavin is one of 97 swimmers under the age of 17 to qualify, for the entire USA. Also, a couple of weeks ago, Gavin also competed in the Ireland Olympic swimming trials. He has dual citizenship, as does Paul, in the US and in Ireland. Paul shared that considering he was not the best of health, having a bad chest cold and other health issues, he still had an amazing event over there in Ireland. He took silver in the 200-meter backstroke and was just 2 seconds off the Olympic qualification for the Ireland Olympic swim team. Gavin did take gold in the 100-meter backstroke and top junior, as well as silver in the 100-meter backstroke in the senior final. The Ireland head coaches were so impressed with the kid from Boulder, Colorado, that the 2028 Ireland Olympic swimming team is a real possibility for him. Way to go, Gavin. One more thing. Gavin's amazing, y'all. If you have amazing family members or yourself you want to tell us about, we want to celebrate you. We want to tell everyone. Gavin, a junior, was just named High School Swimmer of the Year for the 2nd year running in Boulder County. The Boulder Daily Camera newspaper published him on their front page of the sports section, which was a huge honor. Paul, our employee, his dad, says Gavin gave a great interview. That's his game face in the top photo there. And also he gave great credit to his best friend Ethan for pushing each other. That's the bottom picture when they were little and starting out in swimming. Please join us in cheering Gavin on in the USA Olympic swimming trials in the 100-meter, 200-meter backstroke events this week. Congratulations, Gavin. Congratulations, Paul. Please, everyone, share all of this kind of news with us. We want to know everything your wonderful family and you are doing in your community. We truly, truly love to talk about those types of things.
Awesome. Thank you, Bea. All right, so on to our thank you. I know we have for the past, I can't even remember how many calls, had a gift card giveaway. We did just find out on Friday that we are no longer allowed to do that. It's a manpower policy now. It's because of tax issues. Where even like the gift cards that we gave away during our call in March, we actually have to report that to payroll. So just as a policy, company-wide policy, we're not allowed to do the gift cards anymore. So that's kind of a bummer, but thank you again for attending. Please do share any kudos, any family news, anything like that. We would love to share it. And thank you again for attending and have a great evening.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.